Hey guys, it's Tanya and welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually doing another build and it's not a house build this time, it's actually a store build and we're in Magnolia Promenade to build the Promenade Pawn Shop, which I'm so excited about. It was so much fun to build and I'm not exaggerating at all when I say this is probably my favorite Sims build I've ever done. Like, I didn't want to get up from my seat. I had to a couple of times, so you'll see like when I enter cheats in a second time, that's like, oh, another sitting. I had to get up quite a few times to do other things, but I wanted to keep building. This was so much fun, and it was a suggestion I got during one of my streams to build a pawn shop. And so this is like a pawn shop slash thrift store, like junk shop. And I really like how it came out. The outside is pretty basic because honestly, every pawn shop or thrift store, or unless it was like a consignment shop that I've been to, has been pretty basic on the outside. Nothing too crazy. It's been basically a square, so I made this very similar to that. And so that is what we went with. The inside is probably the most cluttered thing I have ever created, and I love it. I'm so happy with how it came out. And I actually got cars outside, which I thought was cool. I haven't done that in a really long time. I did a build a couple years ago that I put like sized up cars outside. But I thought for this it made a little bit more sense because it's a store. People would be parked outside. They need some place to park, whatever. Whereas I normally just build houses, so I don't think about those kind of things. We need cars in The Sims 4. That'd be nice. But that's fine. But so I don't know. Like, this was the one I got the most excited about. I wrote down a long list of different builds that I wanted to do that I got from suggestions from a bunch of you guys. And this is the one that, like, made me like, oh my god, I have to do that. And so that's why we're doing it. And it was, like, so much of a I need to do this that I did it, like, already. It hasn't been that long since the stream. I mean, this will go up a week after the stream. So within a week, this will be on my channel. Oh boy. And actually, it's so bad, like my building lately, all I want to do is build, that I have like builds that I've done that aren't going up that were supposed to go up, but instead you're getting this pawn shop because, oh my goodness, this was so much fun. And I don't know. I wanted to put it up and get it out to you guys so quickly because I don't know, I'm really excited about it. I have some other builds that I will get up as well. They're house builds, so they're not as exciting. But for me, this was really exciting. And we are just throwing stuff around right now, trying to figure out some flooring. And I was kind of going for like one of those older buildings where like there's different types of flooring or maybe something's ripped up somewhere. So there's a rug on or carpeting on this side of the store, but the other side of the store it's just the concrete on the floor. I also ended up putting a dance floor in the middle, which I thought looks really cool, to add another like weird piece of floor because I've been into a lot of like really small pawn shops in the middle of nowhere that have really weird flooring. Like it's different in different parts of the store, and I kind of wanted to do that because I thought it was kind of interesting. And I wanted to add this little bit of wall space in the middle as an extra place to hang stuff on the walls because I wanted so many posters and LED lights and like everything you could possibly think of to hang on these walls because I thought it would be really cool. And we end up making this half of the store a little bit more like home stuff, but it gets mixed in with all kinds of junk because it's a very cluttered place, and that's what I was going for with this. So we do that, and oh my goodness, all these things I've never used before, like that necklace in the glass cage or glass cage in the glass box. Um, and this glass box as well to put all kinds of cool knickknacks in. And we had like a guitar and violin corner over here because I feel like most of the time when I go to pawn shops, there are just tons of guitars. They're usually hanging on the walls, not on the floor, but like there's always tons of guitars. And so I wanted to go ahead and make sure I included that as well. Anyway, I don't know. This build took me a really long time to build. It's just one room and with a ton of stuff in it, and somehow that managed to take me like 3 hours to build. Like it's not a fancy structure; it's just lots of stuff, which means lots of time. But it was definitely worth it. I had way too much fun doing this, like I said, and I don't know, we're adding junk everywhere. I wish this what like it didn't take me as long because it's not like I'm like, oh, now I'm doing the bathroom, now I'm doing the bedroom, because there isn't any of that. There's just this build of this one room with tons of clutter in it. And so there's not like a whole lot to talk about it, but like I think it should be fully functional. I did have one of my Sims purchase it so I could take screenshots. And she was able to like select items and put them for sale and stuff like that and get behind the register. But if you guys have any problems, obviously you can just move it a little bit, move the register. Some of the items you're not going to be able to get to, but that's kind of, I didn't build this for function, but you can alter it any way you would choose if you want it to function properly for your Sims to use. I just wanted it to look really cluttered, and that might not be the best for functioning in The Sims, but that's fine. That's not what the intention was. But if you do want to go ahead and download this, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery right now. All you have to do is search my origin ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi, or the hashtag MsGryphi. I think I also did the hashtag pawn, like for pawn shop, something else, if I remember correctly. So you can search it that way. It should pop up as Promenade Pawn, and you can download it for yourself to use in your game, or maybe for some cool storylines or pictures or whatever. I just thought it was really cool and a really fun thing to build, and I've been wanting to do a cluttered build for a while, so I would recommend it. It's challenging if you're used to like doing stuff that's like very clean and put together and pretty, because I was purposefully here trying to make things mismatch, because I was like, oh well, it's a pawn shop. It's not like they conveniently have all matching furniture. They have whatever they end up with, or they agree to get, or whatever, or a thrift store, because I don't know, I guess it's kind of both, which is fine, which is why there's some shelves behind the register. I thought that looked kind of cool. So they have really mismatched furniture and colors and crazy amounts of stuff on the walls, which is really fun in my opinion. And I made sure to get some weird signs and like objects that I don't normally place anywhere. I tried to add into this build, and I made it like so it was very difficult to walk around in here, at least between the two different or a couple different sections of the build. So your Sims may or may not be able to get through there. Like I said, I tested it a little bit, but not a ton. But they should be able to walk around. Obviously, some items are blocking certain areas, so you're not going to be able to get everywhere. But it's usually difficult to walk around in stores like this. I've been to quite a few little ones like this where you're literally climbing over stuff. And I didn't make it that drastic, but I mean, it does have a lot of clutter. There's lots of separation and random stuff like on top of other things. I wanted to make sure it just looked overly cluttered, and I think I achieved that. I think it came out pretty well. But anyway, are you guys excited about the new bowling stuff pack, bowling night stuff? I'm really excited. At the time of recording this, they haven't announced when it's coming out yet, but I would assume it's coming out pretty soon. So hopefully we'll get to make a bowling alley sometime soon, because that would be really fun. I'm not the biggest fan of bowling in real life, but I'm like overly excited about it for my Sims. I can't wait for them to explore that new activity, I guess. Because I remember in The Sims 3 when we got bowling, which I believe came with University Life, I was really excited about it. And it was really fun. Like, it was just something basic and an extra thing for your Sims to go out yeah, I can't talk. But what's new there? It's an extra thing for your Sims to go out and do. And so I'm really excited for that to be here. Because right now, what, you just go to clubs or you go to the park? I guess you can go out to eat too, which is nice. Like, I love Dine Out. It's a really cool feature, and you can go to stores now with when Get to Work came out, you got that. Obviously, you can go to work with your Sims if they have one of those interactive careers, but like, I don't know, social activities, I'm like, I want to do more. Like, so bowling is really cool. Obviously, if you download a movie theater or build one yourself using like movie night, or what's it called? Movie stuff, I think. Something like that. You can also go to a theater, but I don't know. It's not as exciting. Although I might make a movie theater at some point in time. Let me know what you guys think of that. I don't know if I wrote that down on my list of ideas that I got from you guys, but I will keep that in mind. Also, the day this is going out is Saturday, which means tonight I will be live streaming here on YouTube. For the past couple of weeks, we've been doing a a build of a park, which I had never done before, and we finished it last week, completely finished the park build. And so this week, we're going to be doing something different. I don't know what yet, and that's why I'm mentioning that now. I want you guys' opinion on what you think we should be building or doing. It doesn't even have to be in The Sims 4 if you don't want. Like, I have The Sims 2 and I have The Sims 3. The 3 is a little slow on my computer, but 2 and 4 are fine. We can build some more stuff. I know some people have suggested some challenges, which could be fun, or we talked about maybe building a castle or something like big. We can do that, or we can just dabble in weird aspects of The Sims, any of them, and just play around a little bit. I'm totally open to that. So let me know what you want to see, and maybe we can make that happen tonight. And also, if you didn't know, I streamed every single week, just like I said, here on YouTube on my channel. So go ahead and subscribe if you want to see those live streams, or if you liked this video, all that good stuff. But I don't know, it's like so much fun to stream and talk to you guys, and so I am very open to suggestions. I always am. I'm very talkative during streams. I will go on, like, you'll be like, hey, let's talk about, I don't know, Harry Potter. And I'll be like, yeah. And I'll be really excited about it. Or you'll give me advice on what I'm building or what we're creating. And I'm very, very receptive to that. And I really like it. It's a great way to connect to the community. If you've never live streamed, I highly recommend it. I feel like this is my second video I've recorded recently where I'm like, you guys should live stream. You should watch other live streamers, but I don't remember what the other one was, so I apologize if you're getting two rants about the same thing. Or maybe that video didn't even come out yet. I'm not really sure. I lose track of things sometimes, but we're making it even more cluttered in here, and we're adding a surgical light, which makes zero sense, but you know, that's kind of weird stuff you find at thrift stores and pawn shops. And I wanted to add some ivy around the place, and the exterior ends up being a little bit run down looking on the sides. We end up having lots of overgrown grass with random objects that didn't make it inside out there. Maybe they're things that are broken, or they didn't have enough room to bring inside, or whatever. So those things are outside. That's for you to figure out what the meaning is for those. If you decide to download this for yourself, I mean, storylines are really fun. And we're just placing random items, and I think we're about to grab some more cars. Yep. And just trying to make them all similar sizes. I don't think they're all correctly sized, but I tried, and I wanted it to look like they were all parked out here in front. And we're just going to add some more stuff out the back and clutter up the front some, add some like cereal boxes inside. I don't know. I feel like I could have worked on this for even longer than I did and added even more clutter, and I don't know. I don't know if that would have been good or bad, or if I would have gone over the top if I added more, or if it would have just made it better, because I kept being like, oh, it's good, and then I'm like, no, I add more, and then I'm like, oh my god, it got better. And I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys think it's too overdone and too cluttered or not cluttered enough, but you know, all of that is good feedback, and like in the description down below, I love your constructive criticism. There we go. And let me know if you guys like these, what are they called? Community lot or retail lot, anything that's not a home build. Let me know if you guys like those, because I'd be interested in doing more. This is only my second one. I obviously did the seafood Kimmy challenge last month, right? Or a couple weeks ago. I don't remember how long ago that was, which was a restaurant build, like a fancy seafood bistro, which was really fun to do, but it was really big, and that's hard for me. Like, big builds are, well, if I get this detailed with this little tiny build and I spend 2.5 hours on this little thing, you can see how, like, big builds are problematic, and I could literally spend my entire day on them and they'll never be done. So I try to stay away from big builds, but I am open to them occasionally. If it's something that I'm really excited about doing. And I really liked this. So I added a bunch of like paintings outside, like leaning on this bookcase, because I've seen that before, like outside little stores. So you could just like flip through the paintings. They're outside. Added a bunch of stuff out here, which was really fun. And we start working on the side here in a minute, where I threw that basketball hoop. We end up putting a bunch of stuff out there with the overgrown grass and all of that, and a computer hard drive back behind the desk. And right now I'm just grabbing arbitrary items that I'm like, oh, this might have been left outside. Let's try this. And I found this like science ray thing. I feel like it's something I would have found, or maybe it's like a model rocket or something. But I feel like it's something that I would have got in my not so berry challenge. So I don't know. I thought it was cool. I thought it would be something you might find in a pawn shop because you find really random stuff here, like chairs and mailboxes. I put like 5 mailboxes outside. Why? Because I could. Um, I don't know. I thought it was cool, and we ended up putting this like table with some like chairs out here, just all buried in the grass, adding all kinds of junk and paintings, and I don't know. I really liked how cluttered I made this build. I think that was probably a really good idea to make it as cluttered as they did. And I'd love to do some more cluttered builds. I think I mentioned recently I want to do like a grandma's house or something like that, which is another cluttered house. Or I could do a cluttered house because this is just a pawn shop, so it didn't really need to have like the structure of different rooms. I'd love to do like a cluttered house or like sort of like hoarder-ish because I usually make really clean, like organized houses. The most clutter there is like if I fill shelves with books and stuff. Nothing's like dirty clutter or that could be fun, like an abandoned house maybe. Ooh, this is an idea. I like this idea. I love how I give myself ideas just by talking to a computer screen, but I'm talking to you guys, but like right. When you're hearing this, I will have talked about this a few days ago. Oh boy. But right now I'm just talking to my computer screen, so I'm giving myself ideas, which is really exciting, but I also love getting ideas from you guys, which is why I built this in the first place, like I said, and I'm like, I can't thank whoever suggested it enough. I don't remember your name right now, but you know who you are. Thank you so much for joining the stream last week and suggesting that we build a pawn shop because, like I said, this is the most fun I've ever had building anything ever in The Sims, and like, I sincerely mean that. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the video here in a moment. There's going to be screenshots, and you can download this by searching my Origin ID on the gallery. Bye, everybody.